Good morning, Duct Tape Bandit. Eve. Good afternoon from Europe. Hope we are all doing well on this extra early live stream. Gianna Marie, good morning. Ginger Anderson, good morning, Ginger. Cheryl Lynn, Melissa Diaz, good morning. I'm glad you all can make it this morning. Thank you very much for joining me for the stream this morning. 1 second. Kind of hobbling together equipment here to try to make this work. Deb, good morning. Faithful One, good morning. Thank you for joining the stream this morning, Deb and Faithful One. Gotta mute this. I'm gonna get feedback. I know I am. Thank you. There we go. Molly, good morning, love. How are you doing? Hope you are doing well. Good morning, Will. I like your haircut. How is it going? It's been better. Been worse. Yeah. I got it all buzzed off. Finally was able about a week ago. No, it was just before the golf tournament. I was able to get into the barber. It is growing out a little bit. So looks a little scraggly this morning, but I'm doing the best I can with it. I hope you are doing well. I hope you're all doing well. Some weird times that we're living in. Okay, so I'll give you all a little bit of background on everything. My main computer had some kind of like meltdown. We tried for a couple of days. Well, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so almost 3 days. Going back and forth with tech support over the phone to try to get it to turn back on to do anything correctly, and we weren't able to do it. So they're replacing the computer. It's only about 2.5 months old. Hold on a second. Eyelashes. But they shipped me out another one. It didn't get here last night by close of business, so it's supposed to be here today. According to the tracking number, it's in a one city over from me, so it's due today to be delivered by 1 o'clock. So what do you think about poor Chris, wanting to get out of jail because God doesn't want him there? He wants out of prison. Geez, I hope he gets an appeal and they reverse and gets the death. Well, Melissa, two things came to mind when it first came up to me. It was brought to my attention that he wants an appeal. First thing that came to mind is good luck, Chris. He only has technically 2 avenues to appeal. There is a third, but it's even a longer shot than the first 2. It's basically you would have to prove that they coerced him for the third one. But the second thing that came to mind when it was brought to my attention and I started thinking about it was it's all a con. It's got to be something that him and his supporters have thought up. Now, even if he got a new trial, Melissa, they wouldn't give him the death penalty. Colorado has the death penalty on the books, but there's a moratorium on the death penalty. So let's just say that he went back to trial. He got the death penalty. It would be 8 years, 9 years before they would ever give him a death date, and then 30 years to appeal, maybe 35 before he'd actually ever be sentenced to death. So, that could be 44 years, 45 years. I mean, I hope that all of us live long enough to be able to see it. But I don't think that, there's almost, I would put it as a 0.00001% chance that he would ever get a new trial. And the reason for that, it would be, first off, the evidence doesn't have to exist anymore after his first trial. So it'd be hard for the state to ever be able to go back and prosecute him again. They have most of the evidence, from what I understand. They haven't destroyed any of it, but I could be wrong about that. It's the physical evidence itself of the crime didn't have to exist after he took the plea deal. So poor Chris, not. All I can say is, Chris, is how does it feel to want? Yeah. Personally, I think they should have executed him a long time ago. He got more than a day more than his 2 beautiful daughters and his wife got. And anything beyond that is, for the moment he said, I did this is what I did, that should have been the day we put the rope around his neck. Well, why do we have to carry out a sentence, or give him 200 years in prison or anything more? We should have just said, okay, you know what? You admitted that you killed your entire family. You have no reason to live. I guess eye for an eye, whatever. Sorry, I'm a little congested here this morning. Let's see here. I missed a couple comments there. Miss Wee Lassie, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Glad you could be here this morning. Good afternoon, Will, from the rainy, cold Scotland. Boredom hit me last week, and I cut my own hair, took 6 inches off. Wow. I'm very long-haired. Looks fab now. Well, I'm glad you like your haircut now. My wife, when I first met her, she had hair down to about her waist, and over time it slowly got shorter, and then she got cancer, and well, that pretty much took care of it. But I hope you don't have to do that. My point is that styles are different. If you like it shorter or longer, go with it. Whatever makes you feel better. Good morning, Lori Staggs. Welcome to the stream. He admitted several times he did it. Krista Watts is delusional. Well, yeah, probably, definitely. Probably. I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. He definitely is guilty. Does he know that he's guilty? Does he have any remorse? I don't think so. I think he's remorseful to anybody who wants to give him something. And that's about it. Faithful one. Thank you. Put his head in the toilet. He admitted several times he did it. Case closed. Yeah. I would hate to see him get the death penalty, because he needs to suffer for what he's done. They say prison is hell. Death penalty is the easy way out. I don't know about that. I don't really see him suffering all that much at Dodge Correction Center. He's got a pretty good existence there. So he's definitely, I wouldn't say he's suffering. I mean, unless he's suffering within his own hell, inside of his own head, which I doubt he is. Good morning, Orchard Mom. Ma. Mary, good morning. Hey, Will, how are you doing? I'm doing as best I can right now. Mary, how's your hand? It's better. I don't know if you can see that or not. So the scar right there, where it all healed. It's healed up pretty much. But thank you for asking. I appreciate it. Chris Watts is comfy in prison. Follows the directions. He shouldn't have to pay. We shouldn't have to pay for him to eat and sleep. Yeah. And good morning, the Foo. I'm glad you can join the live stream this morning. Well, thank you, Marriott. As am I for you and for your loved ones as well. Excuse me. There should be a designated island for a country to use to stick murders. They did. It's called Australia. That's happened. Look how well that worked out. So they can live amongst themselves somewhere cold and barren. Well, it ain't cold and barren. It was hot and miserable. They shoved them there and said, survive, which saved countries millions in money. Yeah. Melissa Diaz, this Anna chick that's Chris Watt's girlfriend is a wacko too. You have to be somewhat deranged or have something in your background that makes you want to be involved emotionally with someone who is never going to get out of prison. Now, I've read quite a bit about the actual reasons why a lot of women and some men get involved with prison inmates, those who are on death row. And I don't know about, I don't think there's anybody who's involved with someone like Christopher Watts, but most of them were involved with men who are on death row or women who are on death row. And a lot of it has to do with abuse that they suffered within their own lives out here in society. And they date these men and or women. They date these prisoners, I guess the best way to put it, is because it's safe. They know they're never going to hurt them. They know that they always are going to know where they're at. They know what they're going to be doing. So, and it's kind of a safety net around the relationship. They maybe have 10 or 15 others, that they're working the same, scam on. I love you. Let's get married, or whatever. The inmate be working on the person on the outside, looking for financial support while they're in prison. But it's a safety net for them emotionally and physically. And as far as anybody who dates Christopher Watts, you have to be a little bit nuts to even think that is. I don't know the best way to put this. You have to be a little bit nuts to think that you are ever going to have a real relationship with him. I mean, he's a narcissist. He's going to tell you and say exactly what is going to fulfill him or get, a means to, an ends to, means. Oh. Good luck with Gianna Marie says. AD says Christopher Watts will tell the truth soon. Yeah. I'm not going to hold my breath for that one. Anybody who thinks that Christopher Watts is ever going to tell the truth is nuts. I'm sorry, but there's nothing in it for him. He already confessed to, the crime. He was sentenced. He was shipped off to Dodge Correction Center for his safety. And then he confessed more to the detectives and to the FBI, and he still hasn't told the entire truth. So, if he was to come out tomorrow and say, "This is why I did it, this is how I did it," and he told every little tiny detail about the entire crime, should anybody believe him at that point? I would say no, because he has lied all the way through this. And he's going to continue to lie, to, say whatever he needs to, like this wanting a new trial, weighing his possibilities for an appeal. He has no avenues to appeal. And if he had an avenue to appeal under the two grounds that he really can file an appeal underneath, everybody out here would know about it, because there were procedural things with the court, and everybody would know it. It'd be so obvious. So, let's see. All right. I got this old monitor, an actual monitor, not a TV, that I'm finally done doing an update on. Trying to send it from this is my son's laptop. See, he even wrote his name on it in crayon. And then I'm using an external webcam. Then I'm using this old monitor. Well, actually, yeah, it's probably about 8 years old, because I can't hook that up to, my tower went haywire. Trying to loop all this together without a delay. All right. Now I just have to tell this laptop what to do once I close the lid. I did it. Ooh, that's tangy. I try not to say things too loud. I can hear the echo off of the monitor. Sorry about that. Hope you guys didn't have to hear that. Whew. All right. Let's see, where was I? I had a friend who was dating someone in prison, and she wanted to write and visit her boyfriend's friend. No, I'm a widow with kids, and I have to protect myself and my family. Yeah, I mean, I would love to go visit Gary Ridgway. He's currently housed it's about almost 2 hours from me. So it's a good little ways, but most of the reason why it's 2 hours away is because it's a 2-lane highway. It's the most direct route there. But I'd like to go visit him, just to find, if he would actually sit down and talk about his actual crimes. But he doesn't want to talk about them. He'll talk about all kinds of other things. He's written me twice now, but he doesn't want to talk about the crimes that he committed. But he'd be interested to talk to go visit. Nuts is just touching the pot as far as Christopher Watts is concerned. Yeah. He is definitely, that narcissistic personality disorder that he has, and then on top of it all, he's never been clinically diagnosed with anything, because he refuses to speak with anyone who's a psychologist or a psychotherapist. He doesn't want any professional help. He doesn't want to talk to anybody that in those fields. I think he's afraid that he's going to find out the truth of why he did this, and they're going to put it to him in such a way that he can't deny it. I can't see what kind of long-term correspondence you can have with an inmate. It's been hard having that COVID lockdown and finding things to talk to folks about because of being stuck indoors for weeks. Well, I mean, inmates have, just because they've done some horrific things, and, like, let's take Christopher Watts for an example. He's done some horrific things, but he's still a human. He had human experiences before he, decided to annihilate his family. And a lot of people find that, the common ground, with inmates, and that's a starting point. I have three mouses here. These two wireless, and then I've got one that's actually corded. I'm trying to figure out and move the thing down. I'm like, which one is it that moves this? And they're all Logitech. Can't wait for the other computer to get here today. We'll check your mail. I sent you an email to you. Mary, the last thing I got from you, sweetheart, was I got an e-card. That's the last thing I actually got from you. And thank you for the e-card. I really do appreciate it. But I'll check again later on here. Connie Kelly, he tried to make Shannon look like the villain while he played the victim. Yeah, he most certainly did. He tried to play up that that victim very well. Ooh, I hope it's not buffering for the rest of you. Crystalline bacteria. Interesting name. That would be a great if you could visit him and talk to him. Be interesting. Yeah, I would love to talk to him and visit him, but I figured I'd start off the conversation slowly, and just kind of see where the conversation with Ridgway would go from there. If I came right out and say, "Hey, why'd you murder all those women and have sex with all those corpses?" I think he probably would have been a little bit put off. So many people know about his life out here and what he did. So I can't remember what I put I wrote the first letter about, besides just telling him who I was, what I do, and I just kind of left it at that. And I was actually really surprised the first time he responded back. What a yellow legal, pad is, like paper, longer than a standard piece of notebook, but it's yellow. They make it white and blue and all the other funny colors of the rainbow. But he, in each and every line he wrote on that thing, he filled in two. So there are two sentences written really small in between each and every line, front and back. It was his response. I have it. I know it's not out here. I have it inside because I've kept in contact with a couple other inmates, people I knew out here who were doing time. See, Debbie was a subscriber and frequent viewer of my content, and she annihilated her parents. But she is unable to write now because she is underneath a what do they call that? It's some kind of protective order against herself. while she's going through mental health evaluation and counseling. They're afraid she's going to, self-harm. So she can write. It's just that her attorney has advised her not to write to me anymore or to anybody else, especially her best friend, who I won't divulge information about. But yeah, I've said enough about that one. But she's an interesting case in itself. I was just very uncomfortable about the whole thing. I saw his friend once and he put his hand on my knee. Whoa. That'd be super creepy, Deb. Michelle Kisley? I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. No way, Chris Watts is saved. Read the Bible in short time. A lie. Chris Watts can't even speak English very well. Remember his porch interview? Chris Watts tries to use big words. A joke. Well, a lot of that plays back to his narcissistic personality disorder and his self-centered, egotistical ideas about how the world should revolve around just him. And he wants to be someone important. He's always wanted to be someone important. He wanted the limelight, and the focus always to be on him. He never wanted it to be on the family. And when it comes to the Christopher Watts thing, the case, all of it, after he did the actual facts, let us not forget, ladies and gentlemen out there, let's not forget how quickly this case unraveled and was wrapped up nice and tight because of one person, Nicole Atkins. If Nicole wouldn't have, had a gut feeling, and ran with her gut feeling that there was something wrong. I mean, think about it this way. If you went out of town unexpected, maybe you and your husband were having a fight, and you decided you're just going to have like some cooling off time, and you decide to go to a friend's house and not answer your phone because that asshole really made you mad. How long from that time, of you cooling off and not answering your phone and your text for your husband? How long would it be before your friends decided that there was something wrong? Maybe a couple of days? Not Nicole. Nicole knew that deep down inside her, something stunk, in this thing. She knew, her friend, she knew she would never, miss one of these appointments for the baby. So she wouldn't have acted and she wouldn't have been diligent. How long would it have been before we actually found out what happened to Shanann and the girls? What was Chris's plan? Was his plan to, go along and pretend to be the grieving, father? And then after becoming, being the grieving father for a period of time, was it to kill Nicole Kissinger and then run away to the Bahamas or to Mexico, change his name and his appearance? Don't know. What was his end game? He had to have some kind of end game. Yeah, maybe he wasn't thinking long term, year, 5 years down the road, but he had to have something that he was thinking of next. But Nicole threw all that, threw a wrench into it all and said, no, this is wrong. And then she's the one who actually called up and said, and got the media involved and, and threw something in there. She's like, no, this is not right. No, he's lying. That's a real friend for you. We could all use a friend like that. Liz Stewart, Christopher Watts, God has a plan for him, and it's not prison. Once he realizes that this is God's plan for him, he may abandon religion. A lot of people abandon religion because it's self-serving, and then once that they're done getting their mission or whatever, or whatever they want, then they abandon it. I'd like to visit Jim Gordon. Jim Gordon's not the name's not ringing a bell for me, Carolyn, but I'm sure that if I looked it up really quick, I'd know who he is. Melissa Diaz, as a future therapist, I'd love to interview and get in the head of Christopher Watts, Ridgway, the Unabomber. Don't even get me started on the Unabomber. Lanza and Lori and Chad Daybell. Yeah, as a future therapist, thank you for doing that. That's something that we need more out here. Is we don't just need therapists, but we need people who actually have the caring, the compassion, and the desire to want to help other people. Not necessarily do it at their own perils, but give back. Be willing to understand that a therapist's word and what they tell someone can be lasting and long, have fulfillment for the individual. My wife, she has no desire to ever go into the clinical side of psychology, but she's working on her master's, doctorate, eventual in psychology. But I asked her not too long ago what she plans on doing. She plans on staying in the pharmaceutical side of it, laboratory, working on that avenue in the psychology. So, sorry if I missed anybody. Did not mean to. VB girl, are you giving away too much credit? LOL. He's too stupid. One thing about narcissists is they don't think ahead like that. Yeah, see, but you have to understand that's when people like to use, toss around words like, narcissistic personality disorder. I always try to add to the, a caveat to that he has never been officially diagnosed. He's not a sociopath. He's not necessarily a narcissist. Until you actually meet the individual, you can't really make that diagnosis. And not all narcissists and those with narcissistic personality disorder think alike or act alike. There are narcissists out there who, carry on perfectly healthy lives and well-adjusted lives out there, and all they do is help people. But they think about themselves and they think about their mission or whatever it drives them. I saw a video. They got rid of the oil tanks at Cervic 319. Connie, if they did, it wouldn't have anything to do with Christopher Watts and what he did with the girls there. Those tanks, a lot of them they put up, and they're put up in rapid succession, and they move them from area to area depending upon where they're pumping the oil. If you go to South Dakota, Montana, you'll see spots of land all over the place where there's flat tanks and gravel. Where the tanks used to be, and there's gravel areas where they have picked up and moved those tanks. They're constantly on the move. So I don't know about if they move those tanks in particular, but it does happen quite a bit. And if a well goes, dry, or it's not pumping it, they're not able to get the oil out that they thought was going to be there, or what type of oil. Maybe they were after natural gas, or they were after a thicker crude. I don't work in the oil industry. I've talked to people about it, and it doesn't make a lot of sense to me why you'd put those things in areas and then abandon them and move them on to someplace else. Actually, I'm passionate about prison reform. Wouldn't mind working with inmates in processing their trauma. All prisoners commit crimes because of their upbringings. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there, Melissa. And the earlier we are able to reach a child, the more likely it is that we can veer them off the path of crime. And if we give a child early education, we give them good nutrition, and we give them the basics, as in a good, healthy environment to live in. And if we give them just those three basics, we can veer so many people off of the path of a lifetime of crime. It's unbelievable just how easy it is and how cheap it is, versus if we don't do anything at all and they go to the other direction and have a lifetime of crime, and us prosecuting them, that kind of excuse me, not kind of the actual the cost of the crimes themselves, but prosecuting them, housing them, putting them in jail, and then we end up paying for food and housing and and care for them after they've been convicted. And a lot of prisoners, there's no reform for them. It doesn't matter what you do with them. They are never going to learn and never going to change their ways. There are some out there who do, even if they served long prison sentences, 10, 15, 20 years, or 30 years. There are some out there who are able to eventually make a go of it out here in society without committing crimes. If you want to watch a really good YouTube channel about former prisoners and how they have been able to make it out here, you can watch the After Prison show here on YouTube. I wouldn't suggest a lot of the newer content, but the older content that Joe Guerrero put out in the beginning. Now, the only reason why I wouldn't suggest the newer stuff is because I would say about the last year and a half of it, it's not been so much about the prisoner himself reforming and making a go of it out here in the real world, talking about his experiences and helping actual prisoners himself. It's been more about working and jobs and excuse me, and flipping homes and selling mopeds, but it's a good show. If you want the brash part of it about prison life and everything in prison and after prison, you can go watch Mr. Death over on 23-1. Mr. Death is his nickname, but 23-1. That's a good show. And there's other spin-offs of those two main channels. Yellow Lemons, good morning. Sorry, everyone. I don't mean to cough into the microphone like that. I don't know how sensitive this microphone is. I'm pretty sure it's catching every single one of those. Drama must remain on stage. Good morning, sweetheart. I hope you are doing well. Let's see. Will, do you think Christopher Watts would have killed N.A. as well if the cops hadn't Nicole Atkins? No, I don't think he would have gone after Nicole Atkins. There wasn't anything that she was really hiding. And there's absolutely no way that Christopher Watts knew just how much of a thorn in his ass Nicole Atkins was going to be. I think there is a very, very, very high likelihood that if he would have gotten away with, let's say, a month down the road, if he would have gotten away with, the society was, really bit into this story about, his wife just running off with his two little girls, and they were scouring the United States and spending hundreds of thousands of dollars looking for him. If the police would have gone for it and they would have believed it, and Nicole Atkins wasn't there to intervene, I think it would have been a very short period of time before he would have went after Nicole Kissinger. What is the end game there? If he kills his wife and they catch him, he's going to go away to prison forever, if not get the death penalty. What's one more body? And I know when it comes to the narcissistic, family annihilators, they have a certain protocol that they feel, they are protecting the family themselves as they see it in their heads. Now, that is according to abnormal psychology. I have actually, you're going to find this weird. I mean, it's not what I do for a living. I just talk about this stuff. But I have read this entire textbook. Yeah. And I used to be a bookstore, have my own bookstore. But I have actually gone through and highlighted quite a bit in the actual textbook. Depersonalization disorder. That is what Christopher Watts has on top of his narcissistic personality disorder, in my layman view. Oh my God. Kristalina, that lady is wacko. Hope you are not offended. If so, please look away. I can't get into StreamYards. It won't, because I have everything saved. All my passwords and stuff are saved. Since this is not my computer, I'm borrowing this computer from my son. I tried to log into my account. I don't have my password saved in the program that I use to save all my passwords. And I can't remember it. So I have to use YouTube streaming services. And I have no idea. The whole bunch of things just went by. Melissa Diaz, I watch him 23-1. His nickname was Mr. Death when he was in prison. He's definitely raw around the edges, I guess you could say, brash. But I watch him on YouTube, and then I also follow him on Discord. His Discord is really interesting. No, I hadn't heard that. I am not a marijuana user. I know it has a huge place when it comes to medical use of marijuana. When it comes to those who are not using it for medical reasons, recreational users, go ahead. Sit at home, get high as you want to be. Just don't get behind the wheel of a car and decide that you need to go get munchies then. just like don't drink and drive. But there are people out there that don't listen and will never learn. But when it comes to marijuana, the laws against marijuana and how we have treated marijuana offenses, it's a freaking joke. And we should, as a country, should be embarrassed by it. The only reason why marijuana is even illegal is because of a racist drug czar. He didn't like the fact that the United States government and local governments could not tax it and make money off of something that grew naturally everywhere in the South. And he didn't like that migrant farmers, mainly Mexican farmers, labor hands and Cubans were able to, on their day off, they smoked marijuana and they relaxed, and that's what they did. He didn't like it. So he convinced the president and everyone else that it should be illegal. And we've had a policy ever since to not only, for it to be criminalized, but we arrest people and we destroy families and everyone that around the actual possession, small amounts of marijuana. It's sad. We incarcerate way too many people in this country for stupid shit. But yet the rich get away with it. They get away with all kinds of stuff. If you got money, you can, if you have money, you can get away with murder. Look at OJ. If you had chronic pain like I do, medical weed is a godsend. Unfortunately, still here. Unfortunately, still have to be on opiates. CBD oil has been a life-saving, and a life-changing thing for my niece, who has, and they don't know what actually causes it. They've hooked her up to just about every machine at least 10 times and scanned every part of her body and her brain, and they don't know what is actually causing it. But she suffers from severe migraines and vertigo, and to the point where she's debilitated to the point where she can't do anything. And it started off when she was in middle school, and it's still going on to this day. But with the CBD oil, she is able to live a natural, a normal life. She finished high school. She is in college now currently, and she works. She's able to live her life because of that. And for the longest time, it was illegal. You couldn't even get a prescription in this state for it. But I live in Washington State now, where you can go to 7-Eleven and pick up CBD oil or buy a pre-rolled joint or little thing of weed. Yeah, just about everywhere has it now. Use it medicinally. Atlantic Tide Crimes. Good morning, and Lori Welsh. Good morning. Sorry if I missed anybody. Lisa 54. Good morning. I'm smoke a lot of smoke it. Helps me, but I don't drive. If it helps you, Lisa, I really hope it is. I was never a pot smoker, or growing up in my teenage years. I never, I kind of looked at it as the government said it was illegal, and it should have been illegal, and it should remain illegal. I was always to that mindset until my wife got cancer, and then I saw how it helped her, and it made her be able to and have the ability to keep down food. And these, anti-nausea medications that she was on, none of it worked. Absolutely none of it worked. But once she smoked a little marijuana and was able to eat, she gained some of her strength back, and she was able to keep on with the chemotherapy and everything else. I mean, and it was life changing. It's I can't put it in the proper way, but just know that it was life changing, and it made a hell of a difference. Where would we have been if her friends wouldn't have thought of it? And then we had a whole bunch of it at one point in little baby food jars. Had them stacked up in top drawer of her dresser. It was about half full of baby food jars of marijuana. But the government kept on telling us it's illegal. You can't do it. You can't use this. You can't have that. And then something that was so simple and so natural was able to make a world of difference. Good morning, Cece. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that. Oh, and look at that cute doggy. That's a cute that's a sticker, right? Thank you very much. Get it? I can't. I was reading that. Damn it. Cass, I get it. I can't do the laws in Georgia. It's against the law to buy medical marijuana here. Although they approved medical use, Georgia laws are crazy. Yeah. Well, just wait. Eventually, the state of Georgia is going to realize they're going to take a look at where Colorado and Washington State are financially, and they're going to see the hundreds of millions of dollars in taxation that each state has made off of medical and recreational use of marijuana. And they're going to go, whoa, wait a minute, how much? I mean, and as far as both Colorado, I'm just using Colorado and Washington State. There's other places that have medical and recreational use, but in these two states, it's fixed our budget crisis. And of course, politicians they fixed the budget crisis by a whole new stream of taxes and tax money, but it didn't stop them from balancing the budget and keeping it balanced. No, they just spent more. Well, we have all this money. We can spend it on something else. It's going to keep on rolling in, same amount. Well, I missed you too, Cece. I miss being over on your channel in the morning. I'm getting there. It just seems like there's been a whole series of different setbacks, that have gotten in the way. Good morning from smoky Sacramento. Gayla, good morning. I hope you are doing well, Gayla. And before I forget, I've seen your comments. I've seen you in the chat. Good morning, Pink Camo. I hope you are doing well. I was going to say hello earlier when I first saw your first post, but I was doing this, and I should have been doing this. But Blue Mermaid, good morning. If you are here. Lena Girl. Hi, everyone. Good morning, Lena Girl. Or was that Lena? You pronounce the N more? I have a friend who spells her name the same way. But it's Lena. Lena. She pronounces the N. Or no, not the way I'm doing it, but you get my point. Bye, Melissa. You have a great day today. Stay safe out there. And thank you for joining the stream this morning. The reason why I started an hour earlier than I normally do is I can't be in here in the studio. I have to actually sign for my computer that's coming. So I have to be out there. I'm going to probably go for about another 5 minutes or so. And I really am sorry. But FedEx is one who's actually delivering my computer. And their window of delivery for here, my area, is from between 8 and 1. So I have to be at least inside my house. And I can't see them from here. I used to be able to, but not with this setup. My other computer, I have Ring doorbell, and I have the Ring app. It's on my now dead computer that's underneath the table here. But and then I have to pull, once I get the other one, I have to pull the hard drive out of this one, and then they're supposed to be sending me a cable to hook the old hard drive to the new computer so I can get the information off of it, and then I have to package the entire thing up, and they're sending me a along with the replacement computer, they're sending me a return package. So I'll just have to put it back all in the same box that the new one replacement's coming with, put this one in it, and then they're gonna send it back, and then FedEx will come pick that one up. But that's not going to be until Monday at the earliest that they'll come pick that one up, because I've actually scheduled the pickup for Monday between 10 and noon. Because I have to be here anyways, because my son has school then on Zoom. Angela Watson. Would you like to interview Christopher Watts? No, I wouldn't. He's not a very interesting individual to a lot of people, and he's certainly not one that's really interesting to me. His crimes are interesting, and I don't know how long I could put up with him before I would have to lunge across the room and strangle him for what he did. There are other people out there who've done horrific crimes that I would like to interview if I could, but not Christopher Watts. I would really like to sit down and talk to. I would have to have plexiglass between me and this person, because I definitely would strangle this person. I'd like to find out what really is going on, what's ticking up here inside of Casey Anthony's head. Samuel Little, the most prolific serial killer here in America. I'd like to talk to him before he dies. So, not Christopher Watts, though. Well, thank you. Yeah, actually, 2 months. I bought the computer from MSA, and it worked pretty good until it stopped. And I have nothing but great things to say about their tech support and everything else. As soon as I called them up and I said, hey, I'm having this issue with it, and it was a little glitchy here and there. Some programs refuse to open. The first thing that I noticed was DaVinci, movie editor wouldn't open, and then it would open, and sometimes it would just close itself. And I thought, well, then I'll uninstall it and reinstall it. And it didn't matter how many times I did that. That was the first thing I noticed. And then sometimes you'd hit turn, go through the close down procedure to shut the computer down, and it would refuse to turn off. I was like, well, okay, I guess. So I just turned the monitor off. Well, I use a TV as a monitor, but this one can't plug into this laptop because it uses, was it S video or something like that? It's the one it's like square, but the corners are, so it's like, I can't remember what they call it. I think my daughter called it an S video cable, but this laptop doesn't have it. It only has HDMI and, well, one HDMI port and then Ethernet connection. But okay, it is 8:07 here. I have to get going, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry this is short, and and without notice, I decided to do it early. But I really do have to go. I have to be inside to sign for the package. So I hope you all stay safe. Tim is in town, and we're going to try to do a live stream tonight. My wife is going to go through and try to, and with my daughter to try to figure out how to hook this all up to my Canon so we can use that to stream. Probably won't be using this old HP. This is my son's laptop, but we're going to do our best to try to do a stream tonight if they can figure that out this afternoon. So, because I have to unpack the other one and transfer all the stuff from one hard drive to another before I can use the new one. So, if we get it all done beforehand, then we'll definitely do it. Me and Tim will definitely do a live stream tonight. Otherwise, we're trying to think how we could possibly do it on another device. But all right. Enough babbling for me. Thank you very much, everyone. Everyone have a great day today. I hope you all stay safe out there. Until next time.